Stephen, you recently returned from Fort Worth, Texas, where you saw the facility where the F-35 is being built. Tell us about your trip.
That's right. I went to Air Force Plant 4 in Fort Worth, Texas. It's run by Lockheed Martin, but it's owned by the government. It's where Lockheed Martin builds the vast majority of the F-35s that go into the world. We're talking F-35A, B, and C's, all three variants, not just for the United States, but also for allies such as the UK, Australia, Israel, Norway, Belgium. It's been operating for 80 years, since 1942, when it was building bombers for the Second World War, and now it's building the most advanced fighter jet in the world.
The COVID pandemic complicated industries around the world. What did it mean for the F-35 production, and where are they now?
Lockheed Martin had to take a lot of steps to adjust to the complications presented by the COVID pandemic, which really snarled a lot of supply chains. Originally, in 2020, when the pandemic hit, they were hoping to produce 141 F-35s. They ended up only producing 120, and they're still working to recover from that. Lockheed Martin realized early on that some of their supply networks were going to get slowed down, and there was going to be an accompanying slowdown in how much work they could do on the F-35. But they didn't want to lay workers off during that slowdown period because they were going to have them when work resumed at a full pace. So what they did was Lockheed Martin sat down with its union, hashed out an adjusted work schedule where they worked 2 weeks on and 1 week off for 4 months during the summer. That allowed them to adjust to that reduced pace, but also allowed all the employees to come back at full pace when the supply chains sorted out their problems.
And are they at full pace right now?
They are at full pace right now. Right now they're hoping to produce somewhere between 148 and 153 F-35s this year, and Lockheed Martin tells me that by 2025 they're hoping to have caught up on their schedule and caught up for the reduced F-35s that they made in 2020.
And where are they on the supply chain? Are they caught up on that respect as well?
They have, yes.
So they adjusted the pace for the workers, but I understand they also had something quite unique in terms of funding their suppliers as well.
There's a lot of small suppliers that the F-35 relies upon, and Lockheed Martin was worried that some of these small suppliers, so to speak, mom and pop suppliers, wouldn't be able to keep their lights on during the tumultuous economic days of the early pandemic. So what Lockheed Martin did, they adopted a forward funding strategy where they were paying small suppliers in advance before they delivered parts. In 2021 alone, they paid $400 million to small suppliers. And that allowed the small suppliers and businesses in the supply chain to know that there was going to be business for them down the line, and that Lockheed Martin would be buying from them when those parts came in.
I see. And in terms of cost of the overall program, has that changed from before the pandemic to now?
Yeah, for the last couple of years, in the last couple of lots of F-35 buys, the price of an individual F-35 has been declining to a little less than $78 million in the last lot. Now, Lockheed Martin and the government struck a handshake deal earlier this year for the next 3 lots of F-35s that are going to begin getting delivered next year. However, Lockheed Martin is acknowledging that the price is likely going to increase. And there's also an advancement in capabilities that are coming. The next lot of F-35 fighters is going to come with a new slate of capabilities called Technology Refresh 3 already installed. That's a series of hardware and software improvements. It's going to give the F-35 better memory, better processing power, and get it ready for the new slate of capabilities called Block 4.
You mentioned Tech Refresh 3 coming in the new lots. What kind of technology is that going to have?
Tech Refresh 3 is a series of hardware and software improvements. It's going to include give the F-35 better displays, better processing power, more memory, and it's going to make it possible for the F-35 to get a new slate of upgrades called Block 4. Lockheed Martin has referred to Tech Refresh 3 as the backbone of Block 4. Now, Block 4 is going to bring with it the capability to carry more weapons, better targeting, improved advanced electronic warfare capabilities. It's going to be make the F-35 a very capable fighter, even more so than it is today.
So let's switch gears from fighters to bombers. The Air Force is unveiling the B21 really soon in California. What are we going to see there?
That's right. The B-21 Raider is going to be the first time the Air Force has unveiled a new bomber since 1988. That's when the B-2 Spirit bomber was rolled out. This new one is called the B-21 Raider, and it's going to be unveiled at Palmdale, California. And all year long, the Northrop Grumman, the maker of the B-21, has been putting it through a series of ground tests, doing the finishing touches on this first test aircraft, and getting it ready. Now there's 6 B-21s being constructed in total right now, but that's going to increase in the near future, I'm sure.
And why does the Air Force need a new bomber?
The Air Force's bomber fleet is aging. Right now it has the B-52, the B-1, and the B-2. The B-1 and B-2, the B-1 is wearing out, and the B-2, there's only 20 of them. What the Air Force wants is a 2-bomber fleet of just B-52s that have been refurbished with a slate of brand new engines by Rolls-Royce, and the B-21. At least 100 of those, probably more.
So after this ceremony, there's going to be a lot of manufacturing, and there's going to be a lot of steps I would imagine that you would see. What's something that we're going to see in the near future for this bomber?
The next step for the B-21 will be the first flight. Now, Northrop Grumman's still being a little hush-hush on when that might take place, but it's expected to happen sometime in 2023, maybe a couple of months from now. Once the B-21 is ready, it's going to fly from Palmdale to Edwards Air Force Base, also in California, where this first B-21 is going to start undergoing its first actual flight tests.
All right, Stephen, thank you for joining us.
Thanks, glad to be here.